about a situation where someone did pay someone, but they thought of them as a 1099? Number one, do they need to get workers' comp for 1099 employees? And number two, could you help? Maybe they need restructure their language of that employment relationship, and then maybe after that they can decide to switch to W-2. Like what do you say first of all to someone who has a 1099 employee, and then is that something that you guys can advise and guide them to maybe even restructure their company, because maybe sometimes people are structured improperly? What's your thoughts on that?
That's a very good question, Jack. I see that all the time. Business owners, because they think they pay somebody 1099 or even cash. Sometimes I've seen that all the time. They pay them cash. They think that, they're not going to. I mean, I don't need to cover them because they're what we call subcontractor or independent contractor. But there's a big problem there that even the CPAs, when they go to open an account and start a business, they always have some accountant. They don't know. I mean, all the insurance laws. They give them the wrong advice and say, you know what? Don't worry about it. 1099. I mean, you're okay. I mean, you don't need workers' comp. But that's not what the state law says. If an employer controls the hours, the work hours of an employee, that means if you are my employee and I tell you have to be here from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. and if you don't show up, I could fire you or or not pay you. Even if I pay you cash or 1099, you're still my employee because I'm controlling your work hours. And also I give you the tools for you to use. I mean, you're basically, I'm controlling you. That becomes an employee. So just the fact that, you pay someone a 1099, guess what? That's just a tax thing. I mean, between you and IRS, you don't want to pay the tax. So you pay the guy 1099, which is fine. But that's not what the insurance law says. The insurance, the labor board actually, even recently, they even tried to bring the contractors into that, people who do all the construction work, but they couldn't. So because people get hurt all the time, and the employer, because they thought I'm paying somebody a 1099, or even cash, I don't have to pay, I don't have to cover them. It's a big mistake.
Okay.
That employee is your employee, and they need to be covered. Not just by the law, but also, that employee, has family, has a job, he works for you. You need to be able to cover that employee, for their future too. So, yes, if they come to me with that issue that they have a 1099, I do talk to them. I explain to them that, I even have the papers that I show them that they need to be covered. Even cash employees, if that person gets hurt, they're going to come back and sue you. Because they were your employee. You told them come to work 8 o'clock, go home at 5 o'clock. You control the work hours.
Okay. And then how are the premiums determined when it comes to this workers' comp?
Well, it all depends on what the employee does. Because every company has different job jobs in the company. Somebody is a clerical person, somebody is a mechanic, somebody is an outside salesperson. So it all depends what they do. They have different classification because a clerical person has a less chance of getting hurt than someone who does mechanical work, working on a car, or someone who's a construction worker. So for that purpose, they have different classification that they assign each employee.
Oh, wow.
And also how much they get paid based on the payroll that they get paid. And there's always some kind of rate they give you. And also, if you have, the employers, if they have bad claim history or bad loss history, they get penalized more. So all that goes into the formula, and based on that, they charge you for your workers' compensation. So if you are a roofer, or if you are, let's say, car mechanic, your premium would be much higher than somebody who's just an office worker. Because what's office worker going to do? Like what do you call it? Paper cuts, right? That's what they're going to do, or fall down. Yeah, but but mechanic is always a chance of something falling on you. You're falling down. So based on that, the insurance companies, they give you a rate, a percentage of your payroll that you have to pay. So, and also higher the payroll, higher the premium.
Wow, this is good stuff, man. I know the people that are watching this are going to really benefit from the advice that you're giving here.